I saw this really good speech last night, and if I can find it, I'll link it in the description. If you're interested in abandoning fear and creating a life of passion and purpose and meaning and making the world a better place, then you'd definitely be interested in it. He talked about how there's three different classes of people. There's the rich people, the poor people, the middle class, and how they spend their money differently. And I thought this was really interesting. He said that the poor people spend all their money on cheap garbage, just like going to the dollar store or Walmart, just buying little things they don't need all the time because they think that the little things will make them happy, and so they're just constantly buying crap and they don't need it. And the middle class spends their money on things they can't afford, like the big house and the fancy car, that they're paying a mortgage and they're paying a lease for the car, but they have to work all the time to be able to afford these things, to make the payments on all this stuff, so they really don't own it. The stuff owns them. And then he talked about how rich people spend their money, and this is where things got really interesting, and I really this got me thinking, and this got me really excited last night. He says that rich people spend their money on things that make them money. Things that make them money. They buy assets. And he talks about the difference between an asset and I'm tired, so my brain's not working, a liability. He said that an asset is anything that makes you money, and a liability is anything that costs you money. So leasing a car is a liability. Having a mortgage on a house is a liability to you, but it's an asset to the company that you're taking out your mortgage with, the bank or whatever, because they're making money off of you. They're getting interest off of that, and they own the place and they can take it from you at any time. You know, you lose your job or whatever, guess what? You're out of a house. You're screwed, man. And I just thought it was interesting. You know, he talked about how Warren Buffett spent his first business was ping pong machines or something like that. I think it was some kind of little video game thing. And he would buy a ping pong machine and put it in like a bar or whatever. And then with the money he made from that, he'd buy another one and put it somewhere else. And the money he made from that, he'd buy another one and put it somewhere else. And then all this money he was making, he just kept investing into new things that made him more money. And I just think that is just freaking genius, man. That's what this is about, man. Like, it's funny. We go to school and we hear this whole spiel about get good grades in school, go to college so you can get a good job, so you can have nice things and get married and have 2.5 kids and be successful. And the idea of success in our culture is to buy a bunch of shit that we can't afford, that we have to work all the time to pay for, and we don't even have time to enjoy the things that we're slaves to. And that's our idea of successful, man. It's bullshit. It's totally bullshit. You know, my idea of successful is doing something you're passionate about and doing it well enough that it makes an impact, that it makes the world a better place. And I think that when you're creating something and you get that sense of pride and that sense of purpose from a job well done, you know, like my videos, I get just a good feeling when I'm done, you know, like my message is all about, like, you know, love and be yourself and break away from the system and find your purpose and live passionately and all this stuff. And it feels really good every time I make a video and I put it out there and I'm putting these messages out into the mass consciousness, and people are taking these things in, and especially when I get positive feedback, it's just like, yes, it feels so good. And I'm hardly making any money from it at all yet. I mean, I will, but it still won't be like I'm going to be a millionaire or anything. I mean, I guess maybe technically it can get to that point, but it doesn't matter. Like, eventually I'm doing what I'm passionate about, and it makes me feel fulfilled. And I don't have much money, like, at all, but I feel so good about myself. And I know that if I had some job that I didn't like, but it paid like $60 an hour, and I had some badass house, or even if I had some badass, like brand new Dodge ProMaster Class B RV that was just awesome, but I had to go to work all the time to be able to afford it, to pay for it, and I was still in debt on it, I wouldn't be nearly as happy, because I wouldn't have time to make these videos. I wouldn't have time to do what I'm passionate about. And living this lifestyle in a van, being in a van means that I don't have to work nearly as much as I would if I had to pay rent somewhere. Nearly as much. So I hardly have to work at all, and I'm able to stretch the money just really, really far, and I'm able to spend time doing what I'm freaking passionate about, what I love doing, and that is making these videos. I absolutely love making these freaking videos, man. It's just like the coolest thing. And I get so many messages back from people that are like, hey man, your videos really inspired me to make a change in my life, or to do something I've wanted to do, or you've given me some ideas that have helped me break away from anxiety or depression, and stuff like that. And I just it feels so good to feel like I'm living my purpose, to feel like I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do what I've always known I was supposed to do, but I didn't do because I was afraid, and it's that fear that stops people from breaking away from this bullshit notion that you have to work all the time to afford these things, and all these things are going to make you happy, and the media sends us all these bullshit fucking messages about oh, you're not good enough unless you have this product. You need this product to be cool enough, or pretty enough, or smart enough, or for anybody to like you. Nobody's going to want to fuck you if you don't have this or that, all this stuff, and you have to work all the time to get this shit. And man, the deal is that that's all bullshit, man. You gotta find what's important to you, and I know everybody has this one talent, this one thing that they have that's special about them that nobody else can do. Nobody else in the world can do it like they can, and everybody's got something like that. And I think that it's everybody's job to find that thing and to break away from this indoctrination. We've been fucking brainwashed, dude. We have to break away from this bullshit that we've been fed, and we have to figure out what we're passionate about, what we do well. We gotta break away from the fear and fucking do it, man.